Welcome back to Etc. Podcast, guys. My name is Mark here with my co-host Victor. How are you guys doing today? Victor, how are you doing? Your cup is disappearing, but it's all good. It looks like it's saying Krabby Patty on your mug. So what are you drinking there, sir?
H2O, buddy.
H2O.
That spring water.
Nothing like drinking some H2O out of a coffee cup, just it's
Exactly.
different. It makes you feel a little bit, exotic.
Just keeps it cold, Got the ice cubes in there. Hold heat.
True. So have
Um,
you been, Victor?
I've been good, man. Drinking my water. It's
Nice.
sunny out. Weather's
Yeah.
nice.
Next couple of days
Working.
about to be raining for a couple of days, but it's all good, man.
As long as it stops before the weekend, because that's when I'm off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how you doing? How's the Car Chronicles going? What's the
It's
update?
it's it's still going, man.
Still going? Change the
Yeah.
topic. Damn, I thought today would be the day that we'd be over it.
I wish, but speaking of topics that you did bring up to me the other day, I went to go see Sinners.
Oh, you did? Okay. How do you
Yes,
feel? What do you
yes.
think? What was it?
It was a good movie. If you want me to be completely honest with you, I think the movie was like an 8 to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
an
think that's
8
a
to
fair.
me. It wasn't what I really expected. Just
What
more
did you
so on.
expect?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, the trailer for what it gave just seemed like they didn't really give as much, but you knew that obviously something was going on. I saw black people. I saw the time. I saw the time
Hmm.
of like the period. So I kind of figured, I'm like, okay, I see black people. And I'm like, I see some white people. And I'm like, okay, it probably has to do with some type of, segregation, type of. So I was like, okay, but I didn't really understand like what was the, like, I guess, big, I guess, what is it called? Like conflict, I guess,
Hmm.
what was happening. So I was just like, okay, going into it, I was just like, oh, but you did. Was it you or somebody else? I think it was Manny, I think, because he actually went to see it. And he ended up telling me that it had to do with like vampires. So I was just
Yeah,
like,
we talked
okay,
about that because I was talking
okay, so
about
we
the whole
did
like
too. Okay, yeah.
being able to be let into
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah, you
house.
did. You did. Yeah, you did. So when you gave me that idea, I kind of got a little bit more as far as like what it was about, but I didn't know how it was going to come to be. And going into the movie after seeing so much hype about it, you see all this stuff on social media, so it's kind of hard to like not get some type of a little bit of like what it could be about.
Hmm.
So I just see like certain pictures from the actual movie, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that chick obviously is bad. But watching it, I'm just like, well, how does this actually happen, man? Because I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
waiting for the moment. So a lot of that kind of happened. Um, but overall was good. I think for me, like I would have loved to have a little bit more, I guess, story and I guess just a little bit more story into it because that's just the type of person I am. I look into movies. The movie was very like, okay, this is what this is. This is what's happening. That's it. Like you didn't really get too much backstory in a lot of the stuff, and that was fine because I realized that's just the type of movie it is. There's a lot of movies like that where they just kind of throw you in and you don't need to get too much backstory. It's kind of like, all right, this is who this person is. Obviously, you see that they're like gangsters. That's all you need to know. It's not like you
Yeah.
need to know too much. So it's like I understood for certain people. I'm like, okay, that's just what it is. But overall, though, I think production wise and just like visually, I thought it was really good. I thought it really was something that kept you on your feet. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like where everybody else is just like, oh my gosh, this thing is like, I'm just like, oh, it's good. Like that's just how I was when I saw it, though.
Did you stay for the both end credits?
I'm not gonna lie. I think we only stayed for the one. I thought that it was just one. I remember people saying stay for the end credits. I was like, okay. And I was like, we're gonna stay for the end credits, and then that was it. And then I saw the lights come up, so I was like, I'm guessing that has to be it. And I wasn't sure. Part of me was like, should we stay? But I was like, I think that should be it.
Yeah, there's a double whammy in there.
All
Wasn't
right.
too crazy, but
What's the double one?
so the
Because
so the first one was the bar scene, right? I'm
yeah,
assuming.
yeah, that was the bar scene. I saw that.
The second one takes you back to when preacher boy is younger in the church, and there's like a little sequence with his guitar. Um, but that's pretty much it for the most part. Like he just
Like,
kind of like
what was the sequence? Was it just him playing?
yeah, it was him playing. Just kind of like after stuff went down, and he still kept his guitar and all that. Like just kind of
Mm.
little thing in there.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man.
Okay.
I mean, the film itself is like 2 hours plus. So like
Yeah.
the if you were to how like other than that, the film is there's not really like dead moments in the film. So it's like how do you fit in background for a brand new set of characters and franchise and keep it under 2 hours. Otherwise, it would be a 3 4 hour film, and then people are complaining about it's too long.
Nah, I mean, I say make it 3 hours then. I feel like that's the norm for a lot of these big movies that come out, you know? You expect it to be like, okay, it's 3 hours. What could it possibly be? But a lot of the times when you see movies that are 3 hours, they're usually the ones that are doing really good now. I feel like before you would see something that was not 3 hours, you would a lot of times be like, it wasn't enough. And I feel like this was good for what it was, but I feel like a lot of the 3 hour movies now are pretty good. I would have been
But,
fine with it, to be honest.
but are the 3 hour movies ones that already have a fan base set up, like a DC
Mm.
or a Marvel or a Star Wars or a Harry Potter or Transformers, ones that already have diehard fan bases, or this is an original concept of a film with no backstory, no fan base whatsoever. This is just the film
Well,
itself
let me
with
see
an
something.
independent filmmaker, Ryan Coogler,
Well, let me see something
and
right here.
budgeting.
Let me see. Okay. Okay. It
What
was
you got
close.
there? What you got there?
I was going to say Inception, but wait.
Inception. By do you know who the director of Inception is?
Yeah.
His name itself has a fan base.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, you said give me a movie.
But I said a movie that didn't already have a set fan base. That's what I'm saying. Like you think of like somebody who makes an Inception or Scorsese,
But
like a
then you
lot of those.
also hear a lot of his movies too, who are like, as soon as this movie came out, everybody's like, oh, yeah, like he done it again. So
He
it's like
did,
people know about it and he does have a fan base then if people are
but
knowing what he is and what he does.
the ones that he did prior, he did his one movie that he did was his initial like breakout was Fruitvale Station, and that was like a surprise, like that it did well. It was a small film, and then after that he did Black Panther and Creed, which was already based on Marvel, and Rocky. This is his first film since his essentially his debut that was just pure, just this is the story with no backing.
That's true. But I also felt like he had a lot as far as encouragement with those other films that he did. I felt like that helped him out a lot. And yeah, I felt like that gave him a lot of boosts and people going to see it. Personally, I think that's what helped him.
Did you know Ryan Coogler by name before this film?
No, I did not. Did you?
Yes.
Okay, so there are other people who actually know about him too. I'm not just like somebody who doesn't know, and then it's just like, okay, that's it. Like he doesn't know, so it's gonna. I feel like there's a lot of people who obviously know him as well too, especially people who are just looking into a lot of the stuff the first time as like directors and stuff like that. Um, they see that and they're just like, okay, yeah, that's really good. I want to see more things that he does. They look it up and they're like, oh wow, Black Panther, this, and that. So I feel like it works a lot. And I think definitely after this movie too, if it was to be in the future too, if he made another movie that was like, again, it's one of its own things, would you think that it wouldn't do good?
None of his films have done bad.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But you're
But
saying
you
like,
were saying that a movie that has no background has been 3 hours plus and done well. I'm saying that hasn't happened, and you tried to pull up Inception, and it didn't have that.
well, I'm just saying if it
Nor
did
was it three
have three
hours.
hours, I'm saying if it did be 3 hours, if it was 3 hours, I wouldn't have mind and I would have been perfectly fine. Cause I think movies that are 3 hours personally, I enjoy all of them. I think they're
Yeah.
perfectly fine. I don't have an issue sitting in a seat watching that stuff.
There's also the whole idea of if you do another hour, that's probably what another 100 million in budget you got to pull out your butt.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But I mean,
It's not
if you
really, I
know
guess,
who,
bro. They went back to 1930s. They had to
yeah, but
CGI
again,
trains and stuff in the
yeah,
background.
but you also see again his track record for what he was in, regardless of like what the franchise was behind it. I feel like you would know he's good for it.
That's I mean that, but that's still like just somebody's a good film director doesn't mean it's going to perform well. Like these are studios that have to sign off the budgeting for this stuff. So if
Yeah,
they so especially the same way you see a Minecraft movie and all this other stuff, it's easier for them to sign off on that with big budgets because they already have the backing.
I
This
guess
was
if they don't
this
have
was
the same thing.
essentially his version of Blade because he didn't get to do Blade and he just
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
true.
put it on his own thing. If you sign Blade on this, yeah, bro, you could throw unlimited money at it and be fine. But it's like there's a business side and there's a film side to it. Could he would he want to make it like 6 hours? I'm sure there's like an extended cut that he has out there that he wanted to, but because there is stuff that's cut, but it takes money, bro.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a good film. Obviously, if you hear all this hype about it, it's going to change your perspective on it. I went like that weekend that it came out, and obviously I saw good reviews, but I still had a blank slate in my mind when I went to go see it. So I think it was pretty good for it to be an original idea instead of another reboot or just a rehash of another thing or just trying to make an eighth sequel of something that could have been
Well,
dead.
I did also hear that it has some lore behind it too, as well, as far as like Sammy being a guitarist and making a deal with the devil. And the whole idea about it is that he wanted to be a famous guitarist. And the idea is that he made a deal with the devil. And that's why his dad always talks to him about like trying to stay away and be away from the devil because then it's going to catch up to him and all this stuff and that and the third. And yeah, yeah.
Well, that wasn't Sammy individually. That was it's because Sammy is based on somebody who like actually had like a real person.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't mean like the actual character Sam. Just meant
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that story behind the whole idea of that.
So in that universe, that didn't technically never happen, but it's based on somebody who did that same thing. And there's like a real artist. And then the guy who played old Sammy or Preacher Boy was like actually one of those artists from that time period in a sense. They just put a scar on his face, was kind of fire.
His name was Buddy Guy, from what I
Yeah,
saw.
yeah, that's the real artist's
Buddy
name.
Guy.
But decent film. I'm glad you actually went to go to see it. There's a couple other films coming out soon, which should be fun to see. The Final Destination. I saw a trailer for it like yesterday. What was I watching? I was watching the Phillies game and it came on. And there was a bull, he had a nose ring and it got stuck to like a chain link fence. And I was like, oh damn. They didn't show what happened
Yeah.
after that, but I was like, it's wild. I haven't seen one of those in a grip, but it's cool that they're kind of bringing it back.
Yeah.
What else is coming out? Lilo and Stitch,
That
live
I'm gonna
action.
see. I'm
Yeah,
trying
I
to be
want to
in the
see
front
that.
row to see that, John.
Not front
I heard
row.
that.
You gotta get the good seats.
I mean, yeah, of course, but
This ain't all
um,
nice.
um, I heard that they said for Lilo and Stitch, though, I think the director was saying, I don't know if it was more so he couldn't get it in, or maybe there was just some complications. But as far as like with Pleakley, that he wasn't going to be able to like put him in drag
Oh yeah, they
because
didn't. I mean, the trailer has been like they showed what Pleakley looks like. Like he
I
looks.
actually didn't see that trailer. I've never seen that trailer, to be
Yeah, people
honest.
people were complaining about that. There was like the main trailer or like I guess a secondary one that came out, and they show the guy with like the ice, like the snow cone, and like they
Yeah.
show I forget their names, but like all the alien people make an appearance, and you
Mm.
can see them. Most of them look like how they're supposed to look, but then Pleakley just looks normal
Yeah,
instead
he
of
said
him
he
being
has
like an
like
alien in women's clothing.
yeah, he says he has like a device that turns him to look like a human. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I guess.
so he just looks human for like the
Yeah.
majority for like the film,
Yeah.
which sucks. It would have been cool to just see like a little Roger looking dude, just like
Yeah. I mean, something, but whatever. I guess time,
uh,
all that.
either way. I think the CGI for Stitch looks dope. Like I feel like it's the
Oh,
first
yeah.
live action where I think everything converted really well. So I'm excited to see the film, and
Yeah.
like the actual Lilo looks cute. Like she looks like she fits the role well. So and like
Yeah.
I've seen her doing press for the film, and she looks like a cool, intelligent like little kid. So I'm excited for her.
Mhm.
What else is
Yeah.
coming out? What else is out there?
I mean, seeing Sinners, all I got was a bunch of horror movies.
Yeah, which is, me and my brother were actually mentioned on it yesterday because we saw the trailer for Final Destination. It was like it's so random that we're seeing so much horror like in the middle of May or like June. Like usually it's like an October, November, September kind
Yeah.
of vibe.
But to be honest, that's just in general. I feel like you barely get a lot of just comedies and stuff like that recently. I feel like it's either horror or it has to do with like some kid based type of like I guess franchise or some type of movie. Because recently what we got the Minecraft movie and what else did we get? We get anything else prior to that?
Uh, I'm
Or
sure there's some out there. I just
similar?
can't think of.
Something.
Yeah, just that same vibe.
Oh, what's coming out is How to Train Your Dragon, which looks literally like the exact same animation they did for the actual animated with the dragon. Like it looks
Yeah.
literally like one to one, which is like hilarious. But
Have you seen the actors and like actresses that are doing it like at Universal? Because they have like a section for How to Train Your Dragon, and like
oh,
they're like killing it. Like I was never a big I like was late on How to Train Your Dragon stuff, but I saw like the people like obviously they have like actors in the theme parks and like they do the voices perfectly, like the characters, everything is like super dope. So it's kind of cool.
I,
But
I
yeah,
think I only watched the first one and never watched anyone after that, to
I
be
think I watched
honest.
like I think it was technically the last one. Like
Uh,
and then I was just like, oh, like this is pretty cool, but like this I was like I kind of missed out on this kind of stage. Like these were like a little bit later on where I was like, I just keeps Toy Story and Lilo and all the other ones on loop. Like I'm not really watching new ones too often because I don't have kids in
Yeah.
my family like that.
Yeah, same. It makes sense.
Um,
That anything else? No, yeah, just a bunch of horror ones to be honest.
there
There was
there wasn't there was an Until, I mean, it already came out. Until Dawn came out with a movie, like a real life movie, and like I was like, this is dope. Like I want to see this, and then they were just like, yeah, we're not. What always happens is like, oh, we have this source material. We're just not. We're gonna take it into a new direction that you all want to
yeah.
see, and it's like nobody wants to see that. Like
Yeah, I
if
heard
you
it
want
was
to,
nothing to do with it.
I feel like it was. I mean, they tried to make their own little cool concept of it, but it's like, why though? Like just
It's
make that
like,
an original film.
yeah, because you slap the name onto it and people are expecting it to be exactly what they saw.
Expecting that since it has this fan base, it's gonna do well. But when you ruin the thing, and it's like
Yeah, I
you
mean
ruin the source material.
they'll realize 100% once it
I'm,
does bad.
I have heard. I mean, it's been out for like 2 weeks, I think, at this point, or a week. So I'd imagine it's probably not doing too hot, and it's only going to continue to be that way as like better movies start to come out. But yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
man.
um, I'm. I want to keep talking about movies, but I wanted to switch to something else real quick.
Gotcha.
Um, oh, I got this on
Sixers.
NBA draft lottery tonight. We get to find out who we pick. There's a good
Wow.
chance that we might get the first pick and actually change our lives, and we get to see who's
Change
playing
our
in
lives.
who's playing in the Xfinity Mobile Arena, not the Wawa, not the Wa.
I know. I feel like adding that mobile part to it just kind of ruins it.
But they never
It's
have
like,
Xfinity. Like, does not Comcast not have enough?
I
Like,
know.
they got the Xfinity Live, they got freaking Xfinity Mobile Arena coming out, and then they already damn near monopolized the city, like with everything that they have.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much do y'all want, bro?
As much as they can get their filthy hands on.
I just really wanted the Wa so
The
bad.
wow, man.
But
Hey.
whatever. I mean, we're the Sixers supposed to get in their own stadium in like 2030 or something like that, 2031. So maybe that could be the WA
True. I mean,
because there's no name on that yet.
how long is the contract for the Xfinity Mobile now that it's on?
I didn't see I didn't see like a timeline on it.
Okay. I
So
wasn't sure if there was like the contracts are always the same and they just try to renew it or not, or if it's different.
I would figure it's probably if it's anything like the Wells Fargo, then I would assume probably another 20 years because that's how long Wells Fargo was for.
Dang. Okay. Well, yeah, they ain't gonna wait. Wait for that.
Yeah, no. So hopefully, maybe the whatever that new one is going to be can be called the
Yeah.
Wawa Center or something. I was just really hoping for it, but they maybe by that time Wawa will get the funds together because you know it's only like a East Coast thing. So if they expand West or Midwest,
Midi West.
maybe they'll have enough bread to cop up because everybody has their own form of Wawa kind of. So it's a little difficult. They kind of have a chokehold in this like New Jersey, like Philly area in
Yeah.
Florida, technically. But yeah. It was a disappointment. We might get the number one player in the draft, Cooper Flag, capture the flag. I hope it happens. We shall see. Um, what else happened recently that was really important? Oh, new Pope,
New
new
Pope.
American
Yeah.
Pope, first ever American Pope,
Yeah, he's
Pope
American.
Leo the 14th,
He's
Villanova
also
grad.
interesting. Look at
So that means he's been to Kensington, and
that.
he's also been to the WA.
He's also busy. He knows the wall.
He knows the WA, but he was born and raised in Chicago though.
Yeah, he's
But he
also
did go to school
spent
here.
some time in Peru, I heard as well, like 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, anytime that you have to be like not necessarily a priest, but I believe like a cardinal or anything like higher ranking, a lot of times there's like vocational work. Well, priests have to do vocational work too. But yeah, I guess he spent a lot of his time doing mission work in Peru. He also speaks like fluent Italian, obviously, because he lives at the Vatican.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
they usually a lot of times they have to be like multilingual. But yeah, he done a lot of work. He's already been like pretty active in his first Sunday message. I forgot or like whatever I guess the formal name of it is. He was just like, yo, like I want to cease fire in Gaza, like free Palestine. And he was like, AI, F that. We don't need that. So he's already on the right path right
He
now to
said
me.
technology just stop.
Yeah, he not even, but he was just like, yo, like the way that we're using AI right now, like we need to reel this in, like we need to regulate it. This is getting a little dangerous out here, a little dicey. Um, so he was just like, you know, I'm gonna put that out there first and foremost. This is my first address. I'm gonna do it right.
He said, I don't know about y'all. I'm gonna just leave this on the table.
He said, "Free Palestine and F Chat GPT." Okay,
I'm out.
it's funny too though, since he's come out, or like since it was announced that he was the Pope, and they found out like obviously his background. There's been like edited photos of him like his garb or like his dress like in front of a bunch of people in Chicago. So he's from
Yeah, I've
Chicago, and
seen
it's
that.
just like
Yeah.
black and white, like it'd be like Chief Keef playing in the background.
They said, "Oh yeah, he was there." I'm like, "Huh?" So random, but okay.
Yeah, it's crazy how people are finding like random footage of him just like obviously living his life. But somebody found it was like a 2004 playoff game of in the MLB for the Chicago White Sox, and he's like behind home plate, like or like near on TV, and he's just like
So weird.
he's just stressing because I'm like, bro, like you're a White Sox fan, like you're like it has been nothing but terrible news for like 20 plus years.
Hey man, but he's
Um,
praying.
that's what I was saying. I'm like, he's using the power of God to help this this franchise right now.
He's
He's
trying.
praying. But yeah, Pope Leo, cool, first American Pope. I was very afraid they were like it was going to be some. I was like, the last thing that we need is like a MAGA Pope, and like he's just super in line with like a lot of that stuff. And it's just like these guys already got a big enough head as it is. But he was like right off rip. Somebody found his Twitter. It was like he was bashing the vice president JD Vance. Like
Mm,
he has like 6 tweets in the entirety of his account, and like half of them are coming at Trump and Vance. So I was like, safe, okay.
gross.
And then he's been doing cool so far. Everything's been cool.
That's lit. Yeah. And then something else that's well, a little bit, but something else has been like kind of more on the radar a little bit is the whole GTA 6. Just
Yes. Yeah,
just
people are losing their mind over that. I personally don't care too much.
yeah, it's like
Cool is exciting, but there's no game that could ever be made that'll be worth the wait slash two delays that have already occurred.
yeah, my thing is with it is like because like I get it, some people still play GTA 5 today. I get it. Some people it's like their favorite game, but for me it was like a time period. Again, I don't know. You have to be that certain type of like player who like that's like the only type of I guess genre or like the way like, I don't know like but for me it's like I play a whole variety of stuff and when you see another game come out that's different from GTA 5 like I'm not just going to be like nah man GTA 5 that's the only like, I feel like it's the same type of people who are like yeah nah I only play 2K that's it
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
there's usually like there's people like that, and it is fun. Like, don't get me,
yeah
I honestly don't even know if I'll play it. At least not upon release, because like $100 price tag for a new release game is kind of crazy to me.
yeah
Um, like especially being a PC player now, it's just like I could just wait until it drops to like half, and
no yeah
I'd be too critical of the game if I paid $100 and then I boot it up and it has all these issues, or it's like a 300 gig game, or like it just crashes. Like, you
no
know what
it's
I mean?
definitely going to be like a 200 for sure or something but
And then I like bro, I have full trust in Rockstar to make a great game because I don't think they've ever missed in their entirety of like their existence between the Red Dead franchise and GTA and Max Payne's dating back like far back. So the reason they're delaying is because they want it to be done. So I have trust in them to make a good game. It's just like the price increase and the size of the game and the weight. Like if it's all that, like just don't announce things so early if you have a feeling that it's
yeah
going to be delayed.
I
It's
mean
it's
yeah
gonna make $1 billion. Like there's no way around that.
yeah
The
for sure
just off the sales itself and the online, and apparently there's like a subscription service on top of it that they had. It was already on GTA 4 online or 5. They have one for it, like that's like GTA Plus or something. Like it already exists, but it's gonna pick up with that GTA 6 stuff. It's like a couple Bonnie and Clyde situation. Um,
yeah people
yeah,
been
it'll be fun. It'll be an ensemble kind of cast again, just like GTA 5. But yeah, like I don't think like how much better can graphics get, and like will it actually matter to what you're trying to do here? Like you can still make it look like realistic. Like you can focus on that, but it's like, oh, there's bubbles in this bottle of soda in the game. Like, look how detailed it is. Like, yeah, but like, I'm not gonna see that when I'm running around. Like, I'd rather you put more like go crazy on the story, go crazy on like the content that I can play within the game than be so focused on like how crisp everything looks. Because like, what does that do?
I don't know. I mean, to me, I think it's probably just like making everything and making sure with the world that you're in, being able for things to like run smoothly. I think that's probably the issue they're running into because again, with all the intense graphics and it's like how are we going to make it look like this continuously without crashing because of how intense this is on
Yeah,
this on a person's PC. And I feel like half the people probably wouldn't even have I mean, I feel like they will, and you can obviously change settings in the game itself, but to run it to that max setting, I feel like people wouldn't even have the right specs on their PC to even run it like that continuously, especially people who are probably like wanting to stream it. It's like, bro, your PC is probably going to sound like a whole plane engine and might blow up with the
yeah.
amount of graphics it has.
But like if you just dialed it back just a little bit, where it's like, all right, you can comfortably assume that everybody's gonna be cool playing it. Because if you're
Yeah.
putting it on a console, like by the time this really was it 2026 is the release year,
Yeah. And I think it's
summer,
around this time. Yeah. It's like
summer of 2026.
26.
The PS5 and the newest Xbox was going to be what 7 years old, 6 years old because it
Yeah.
came out 2019 like during COVID.
What came out, you
The
mean?
PS5
Oh, the PS5.
like during
Yeah.
COVID it was like that whole like five or like well at that point yeah it would be 6 years old if you count if we're saying 2020 that it released or like holiday 2019. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what a 6 7 year console. That's assuming it doesn't get delayed again to holidays of 2026
Yeah, I mean, I they delayed it one time before this. When did they say that was? Wasn't it like a couple months?
twice. It was supposed to come out 2025 at some point. I believe
Yeah, right. So
summer
it was
2025, and then they pushed it back to end of 2025. Now it's 6 months ahead into summer of
okay.
2026.
Okay. I think this is probably the last time. I just think within a year, I don't know. I just feel like if they had high expectations of trying to release it like at this point in time, and now they have to do like a whole year. I feel like a year kind of makes sense if you see like especially with the amount of trailers and stuff they've given out, it's like you see all of that. You're like, okay, you guys clearly have to be close. You guys are probably just running into some crazy issues that you just obviously can't run all of the
Yeah,
stuff that you're showing us. It's just you're probably yeah. So I think that's probably what it is. Like I think they probably obviously have everything finished as far as like the game itself and all that. It's just they're like, yo, bro, we can't run any of this. Like, bro, I boot that John up, and as soon as it says GTA, it just blows up.
I would so much rather them just be like, "Yo, there's like a six like announce the existence of the game 6 months away and it's done." Like,
Oh
don't
yeah, for
announce
sure.
anything that's not done. Or if you're gonna delay it, bro, give yourself more than enough time that you think you get it done. That way,
No,
there's a
for sure.
possibility you could be like, "Oh, we're releasing it early."
Yeah,
Like a
I think that makes more sense. I think for sure, like when they did release it, it just made no sense. Because at that point, when they probably released like the trailer at the Game Awards, or whatever it was, I think when they did that, then for sure I can say that they probably had like nothing even like remotely close.
well, no, there was like a leaked like playable version, but it was like super
um,
dumbed down. I don't know if you remember that.
hmm,
But there it was like very very bare bones, but it was meant to be like at least somebody to go into the game and just see how
hmm,
things would play out. So it was nowhere near done, but like there was a playable light
hmm,
version. So they were working on it. It's just like, yo, like if you're not like 90 95% done, don't announce it. Like
yeah,
you should like those last from announcement to release should be only like bug fixing, like having people like quality test it and bug fix.
that and just like either adding stuff or just like marketing. Like it should
That
just be
yeah,
that.
but I'm saying behind the like in terms of game development, obviously the 6 months you're
Yeah,
going to advertise the game, but like behind the scenes, you shouldn't be making the game leading up to
yeah,
release date. It should just be like, yo,
yeah,
we've basically finished it. We're just trying to see if there's any weird bugs lying around. But
yeah.
there's the game making and then there's the business of it. Same thing with films. It's like what you want to do for the art of it slash like what makes sense for money because it's at the end of the day they have to do that to like sustain and they're going to milk this game for at least another 10 years if not more. I don't know how many more they're going to keep making I
That's
would,
just the one thing I just can't get around when it comes to GTA. It's just
yeah,
the lifespan they try to give it. It's like I get it though, again, for the idea of like if you see the difference in GTA 5 that you do now in GTA 6 with just the trailer itself, it's like I can understand, but bro, it's been 12 years. That's insane, bro. Like 12 years is an insane amount. The only game I know that took pretty long is to just come out with a sequel for me personally is Kingdom Hearts. Those games,
yeah.
like you sit there waiting, like when is this game going to come out? And of course, they do their thing when it comes to graphics and you look at it and you're like, wow, like this looks amazing. But you're still just like, man, like when you finish the game, you're like, wow, I can't wait for the next one. And you just think in your head, you're like,
It's not
it's not happening for
happening.
another 8 years though. So
Yeah.
it's like, dang, like
Or
it sucks.
you could even say Red Dead because like
Oh
Red
yeah.
Dead had the same thing. I still think about the like, why don't we have an LA Noir too? That was a fire game. I don't know if you ever played it.
I ever played it. I definitely saw a lot of the hype around it though. But that
And,
is crazy.
and
Yeah.
that was like that's one game that still to this day is pretty much like the one of its kind. Like I don't think there's
Mm-hmm.
too many that are in that same genre as LA Noir, and like
No.
it's just corny. I feel like Q will probably say the same thing for like a Max Payne, but they're getting him a new Mafia, so I don't think he's complaining too much. And it's
I
going to be
think I
priced at
did see that.
$50,
Oh wow. Is it
new
just like
release.
a new game, just $50?
Yeah, a new game, new release, a linear story,
Wow.
Mafia: The Old Country, $50
$50. I
for
wonder
standard
why.
edition.
That's I wonder why.
Because that's how much it should only be charged.
I mean, you're right,
60 max.
100%. It's just that again, I live in this world where things are so
Yeah.
overpriced now that when I hear that, I'm just like, now in my head, I'm like, what's the catch?
I feel like it's not even at this point it's just counter marketing in a sense because it's like
Oh yeah,
everybody's
for
going
sure.
higher. All right, bet here's this new story, just flat out. Even if it's just single player, people are gonna if people want the game or see that it's fire, it's like oh I
Yeah,
could pay $50 here or pay $100 to get killed on multiplayer on GTA because everybody's gonna have hacks and spend all this bread towards it or whatever. Like
yeah,
it's gonna do well because they're gonna sell more because they priced it so low. I would
no,
hope.
yeah, I agree. It makes sense. I would wish that other companies did the same thing, especially with like this whole Nintendo 2 or Switch 2 coming out. It's like that's just an insane price jump for such like I don't know. I want to say like little gaming, but it just kind of feels like that's just Nintendo. You're
Just
not
small
gonna,
game.
yeah, you're not gonna sit there and make a PC crazy like Elden Ring slash like Monster Hunter game on Switch. And if you do, bro, you're not getting that for like years to come when they finally adapt it to it, and you
Yeah.
still wouldn't even get the full value of it. So it's just like I don't know, but hey, it's
They're
Nintendo.
great at doing what they do with like the family based slash, their IP
100%.
stuff.
I
But
love that too about them.
it's
Like
just, I
100%.
don't know. I tried to pull up for a pre order, bro. And that ran out so fast. And
It's like,
I
yeah,
was there and they were like, they had enough for just the standard, but I was going to it wasn't for me. I was waiting for
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else. But they had just the console. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I like at least give me the bundle because
You're
it
able
was
to
a
pay more.
$50 difference where if I bought it separately, it's $80. And I'm
Hmm.
like, it's just so dumb at this point. But
Yeah.
you don't even have to like, what do you say is the most, despite like a couple handful of like AAA titles, the majority of the best selling games in the past couple years, especially since like COVID, have been like indie games that are like $5 to $10, $15.
Yeah.
Like the Among Us, like the Lethal Companies, the Title Ones, or I forget, it's something like that. It's like the drug dealing
Hmm.
game
Oh, schedule
or
one.
Schedule One, or there's like so many other examples of like titles that are indie made, homemade, or like small team developer made. They sell more. The graphics look cartoonish at best a lot of the time, and they sell so much more. But then you have these AAA companies trying so damn hard to like get every eyelash and all this other stuff. But then the very basis of the game itself is like either not fun or broken.
Yeah. And that's
So like,
just
what's the
really what you're
point?
it's really what you're paying for. You're just paying for the graphics. You're really just basically covering what they spent on graphics. That's literally all you're doing. It's like if you're
Yeah,
paying for rent. It's like, what are you paying for? You're not paying for the story. You're not paying for the fun. You're paying for just what we made this character look like.
or paying for a subpar game with amazing
True.
graphics. You're basically paying for like Demon Slayer in a video game. It's like, oh, it looks amazing, but the substance of it is like C
We
or
don't
B
got a
level
lot.
at best.
Yeah. And then on top of that, then to milk it even more, they're like, oh, wait, we realize and we know the game sucks, but hopefully this battle pass will make up for
Yeah.
it.
Hopefully the
It'll make you
subscription service.
will make you want to keep playing. It's like, no, that's not what we asked for. But they're just like, hey man, this is all we got. So take it or leave it. You're just sitting there with like, well, all right. Here's
Yeah.
my money, bro. I'll take it.
And it's like we can complain all we want. And like this is what most people will agree with, but people's actions won't line up with it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are going to continue to buy, so it's going to continue to happen. And then
Yeah.
even if we as like adults who are buying it with our own money agree with this, there's still like a wide majority of like video games is a children's like led market. So a lot of these times just kids just want to have the hottest thing and their parents will go buy it. So they're not really worried about like, oh, we're complaining like, oh, the graphics and like the money, whatever. It's not coming out of their pocket. So they're just gonna ask their parents for it, and the companies are gonna see profit, and they're gonna keep doing it. Same thing with the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, my kid's gonna hate me because I know if I can't see why can't we get it? Nah, bro. You
You
see
better
that?
you're gonna be a mafia fan, get this $50 old country.
Right. I'm like, you see this, bro? Psh, you don't even need all that. Let me show you some games.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, hold up, bro. Like, I could emulate these for you. Hold up.
They said, oh yeah, you got the new Switch. It's like, nah, my dad still lets me play with his GameCube.
But like low key though, he can be like these way harder, bro. Like I'm
He
not
told
gonna
me
lie.
like, yeah, I could do so much more on these.
Yeah. But we run out of time here. We didn't even address it. We were tied up with Mother's Day, so we didn't get to record in studio. That's why
Oh
we're
yeah,
here.
yeah, that's what we're here.
We just did like a whole episode out addressing it, but we run out of time here. So we gonna pop out any parting words before we get out of here.
No, just hopefully, everybody had a great Mother's Day and hope you guys have amazing rest of your week.
Ditto that to what Mark said. We appreciate you guys. See you next time.
Peace.